Good Thursday evening, everybody, live and direct from House Onek. Thanks for joining me for tonight's latest edition of News Channel 3's video weather blog, exclusive video weather blog, Weather Overtime, from the indoors tonight, because outdoors on the patio, while it's a beautiful sunset, which we'll show you coming up on some of our weather bug cameras in just a little bit, is awfully chilly out there for this evening. Temperatures across much of the Mid-South have barely gone over the freezing mark in some locations, and we're looking at a big warm-up in temperatures over the next few days, and then way back down once again as we get into parts of the upcoming weekend, with even between here and there the possibility of showers and thunderstorms and maybe even some borderline severe weather coming our way. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a little bit. If you're catching some of the rustling noises in the background, that's my dogs, the House Onek Rescue Dog Committee, making themselves comfortable. And if I have to leave you in the middle of this weathercast, won't be for a moment, but I've got a sour cream bacon chicken combination in the oven, and I really can't let it go much beyond the expiration date. So hopefully we'll wrap this up by the time everything gets to be a little bit closer toward the finish of that chicken. And also the potatoes in there are boiling on the stove too. So multitasking, and it's what happens here when you're wearing multiple hats. Heading into the next couple of days, again, a little bit changeable, so keep it tuned to News Channel 3 for generic updates on everything involving what's going on with the weather. And please remember, if you've got that spare change, drop it off for the Red Kettle campaign with the Salvation Army, who can do a lot of great and interesting things with that. So stay tuned for more on that. We'll be glad to help you out on things of that nature. As of right now, looking at our cameras in and around the Mid-South area from downtown Memphis on the Cotton Exchange camera, a beautiful view of sunset going on. So very picturesque conditions across much of the area. Also a nice sunset from Wooddale High School in Memphis. Beautiful conditions, crowded parking lot at Power Center Academy in Memphis at this point in time. And also looking at great sunset colors from around Germantown in and around the area of City Hall, just across the street from Germantown High School. And that is, again, where we've been seeing some very nice conditions out there for sunset in the last couple of days. Beautiful golden conditions out there, but some very heavy traffic in and around I-40 and Whitten Road down to the area of East Memphis, just to the south and west of the transmitter tower cam. Clark Towers back towards St. Francis Hospital out on the horizon, and seeing again some beautiful conditions here. Also some nice views from Windike Country Club. Not a lot of golfing going on into the early evening hours, and crowded commute on Germantown Parkway from St. Francis and Cordova. Like to see more of our webcams? All you have to do is go to WREG.com/webcams for more information there. Traffic and travel across the Mid-South would help if I could actually say something on here. Looking at an accident, serious accident, reported around Watkins Street and around the Delano area. That was about an hour or so ago, taping this at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Looking down toward Ridgeway, traffic is moving very slow in the outbound lanes, heading toward I-240, around 240, 385. Visibility doing all right, but speed at this time is around 10 miles per hour. Likewise, traffic in and around the area of Lamar looking very slow. So heading out toward Olive Branch or heading in from Olive Branch to Memphis, looking at speeds in the teens out there, and right around the 4240 connector into and around the downtown area, we are seeing some slowdowns around the ramp from I-240 north to head west to Little Rock, looking at a speed of about 18 miles per hour there. Otherwise, not doing too bad out there where it comes to anything in the way of travel conditions. Backed up a little bit toward Mount Moriah, heading outbound, but otherwise looking good across much of the area. Looks like a couple of blue lights in and around a possible accident on 385. That could be what is responsible for that slowdown taking place into and around 385, where they're seeing some very slow conditions trying to go back to the west. So something to consider there if you are going to be traveling. And keep up to date with traffic by keeping it tuned to News Channel 3. Travel across the country, delays once again in San Francisco. Ground stop program in effect for travel there. Also looking at some problems into and around the area of the northeastern United States. What we're seeing is around LaGuardia, JFK, and as always, seemingly right around the Newark area. That's where we're picking up again some major delays taking place at this point in time. Also, again, seeing looks like Syracuse, due to snow, Syracuse Airport is actually closed at this point in time for Syracuse, New York. And looking at some fairly breezy conditions around LaGuardia, JFK, and then also around Newark International at this point in time, but otherwise doing pretty good across the rest of the country. No delays to report at Memphis International Airport. Heading into the rest of the next couple of days, high pressure keeping things very much on the cold side for tonight. Heading into tonight and early tomorrow morning, winds start to switch back out of the south, and that's going to help to increase moisture out across much of the area as our next storm system begins to make its way a little bit closer toward the midsection of the country. Snow from the Great Lakes to the Cascades down to the Sierras and across parts of the Rockies. Could be looking at some thunderstorms in the lower valleys of Colorado and Utah, and then the higher elevations could be seeing some heavy snowfall and maybe a chance of ice into and around the midsection of the country on the north side of that cold front coming through parts of the upper Midwest. So if you're heading upwards of around I-70, Columbia, into around Independence, Missouri, Kansas City, Atchison, Kansas, Omaha, back to south of Des Moines, that can be a bit of a problem as we look toward around the area of Friday at about noon or so. Friday, by evening hours, more chances of showers coming through the Mid-South area. Saturday, that's where we see again some limited chances of clear skies out across the area, but possibility of more thunderstorms taking place in that red hatched area, and that includes right into the Mid-South. This whole red area could be the possibility of stronger thunderstorms out there as the first part of the system moves on through. Then colder air begins to follow on through right behind this. It depends on how much moisture is going to be in the Mid-South as that cold air drops out of Canada. High pressure with rotation around clockwise here, counterclockwise rotation around this low pressure area. So that's going to create a combined area of winds, very breezy, very cold off of Hudson Bay, dropping it right down into the Midwest. The question is whether or not we're going to keep the possibility of this moisture into the Mid-South. As most of this moves on out, the colder air will be changing some of this over to that rain, sleet, snow mixture, and that's going to determine how much we, how much we actually get out of this into the course of the next few days. Taking a look at the winter weather forecast, we're technically just not seeing a lot out there where it comes to anything involving precipitation of any major possibilities, but as we get into around day 3, that'll be into and around the area of early Sunday morning. That is where we start to see again the potential of maybe some amounts of precipitation in there that could be rather on the treacherous side, depending on how much we get. 1/100th of an inch, you're looking over here in this category. Again, 100th of an inch is not really all that much by early Sunday morning. Let's take a look at 1/10th of an inch, and we see even less of a chance, about 5% or less. So it looks like our best possibility will be for something about 100th of an inch or so, and it looks like the best possibility of that falling will be into and around the area of close to South Haven and into around Hernando, Tunica, and Helena, West Helena. Best potential for anything coming down in that direction, right on over into the plateau area of Jackson, Tennessee River Valley. That's where we're going to see again the potential of anything that does stick around becoming frozen from late Saturday night into very early Sunday morning. That's going to be the time frame for anything moving our direction. Now, for tonight, temperatures for lows dropping on down into around the lower 20s across much of the area, upper 20s around the metro, and mid to upper 20s around Clarksdale, Helena, into and around the area of Mariana. Could be some temperatures in the mid to lower 20s. Winds by early tomorrow morning, not doing too bad by early Friday morning. Southeast at about 5 to 10 miles per hour, but not seeing any rainfall moving our way. Highs tomorrow, mid to upper 40s to around the lower 50s. Lows Friday night will only be in the upper 40s to lower 50s. Why is that? Well, because winds are going to be coming up out of the south, and that's going to help to keep the temperatures up as we get into the late night Friday, early morning Saturday period, and those wind gusts are really kicking up to around 20 to 30 miles per hour by the time we're on with News Channel 3 Daybreak. We could be looking at wind gusts 25 miles per hour plus, sustained winds of 10 to 20 miles per hour across much of the Mid-South, and also seeing the possibility of showers, and that T on there means thunderstorms. That's where we could see some problems from that. High temperatures on Saturday in the 20s and 30s for lows tonight. 70 is where we could be easily enough by the time we hit Saturday. So we're looking at some very big temperature swings coming up. Saturday night, that's where we see again more showers and thunderstorms. By midnight, that cold air moves on through, and we could see again the potential of freezing precipitation developing out of this, but it depends on how long it's going to be sticking around. Right now, it does not look like too much of anything at this point, and and those winds will be switching around from the south to the north as we go towards Saturday night between 6 p.m. and midnight. That's where we see, again, temperatures really taking a plummet back to about 10 to 20 miles per hour. Low temperatures Saturday night in the mid to upper 20s. By midnight, temperatures for wind chills going to be down in the lower to mid 20s across much of the area, and high temperatures on Sunday not even reaching freezing for much of the mid-south area. Combine that with some decent breezes out of the north at about 10 to 20 miles an hour, and by lunchtime on Sunday, wind chills could be easily down in the lower teens across much of the area. So a very big cool down after a very big warm up. Sunday night, low temperatures in the lower teens to about the around 20 degrees or so. And that is going to be, again, going to be very chilly as the clouds leave the area, leaving us with clear skies out across much of the mid-south. Winter weather accumulation, again, nothing showing up so far from the National Weather Service, including out to about 36 hours, but we'll need to go directly into the weekend before we get any farther on that. Want to see more about these forecasts for winter weather? Go to weather.gov/MEG. That's the National Weather Service in Memphis, and then click on the winter weather forecast page for more information about what you can see there. What does the National Weather Service think about all this at this point in time? A transition to freezing rain will be likely with warm air evident above the surface. Precipitation to change over to freezing rain and sleet gradually from northwest to southeast. But here's the thing, with maybe some brief change over to very light snow in the area, confidence on this at this point in time remains low as the computer models continue to disagree on what the forecast is going to do. The cold air that's coming in is also very dry, so that cold air could absorb a lot of the moisture and do a very good job of ending the precipitation very quickly. So this, again, is going to be the main situation. Currently, according to the National Weather Service, do not anticipate any significant accumulations of ice or snow Saturday night to Sunday morning, and then clearing out and becoming very much on the cold side. How about severe weather? Nothing for tonight, nothing for tomorrow. Some thunderstorms possible tomorrow night. But day 3, that's where we see a little bit more activity heading into the mid-south from around the area of Ripley, Mississippi, down through about Oxford, Batesville, Clarksdale, south of Tunica, over to around Tupelo. A slight risk category does exist, again, for Saturday afternoon as we look for the possibility of some thunderstorms coming on through. The green, dark green shaded category is a marginal threat of severe weather, less than a chance of slight, but still a potential into around southeast Arkansas, southwest Tennessee, and extreme northern Mississippi. And then outside of that, the light green color indicates where we're seeing, again, just a generic threat of thunderstorms. And once again, this is for Sunday afternoon and evening, which we will be taking a very close look at again over the next several days. So stay tuned for more on that with News Channel 3. Catch up to date with what's going on my Facebook page. Keep up to date with a lot of the stuff that I post on there, including today is Bill of Rights Day. If you don't know what the Bill of Rights is all about, find out, as December 15th is Bill of Rights Day. More information about Evernote and maybe some caution that needs to be used because they can read your stuff as part of your user agreements, which is kind of unique and interesting to say the least. And if you'd like to get up to date on what's going on with weather, including a very nice tribute to John Glenn from astronaut and scientist Buzz Aldrin, talking about how we can use his inspiration to go all the way to Mars. And a very big congratulations to the new executive director, sorry about that, Knox Shelton at Literacy Mid-South. I'm on the advisory board there, and would like to do my best to help out with anything involving getting literacy promoted across the Mid-South area. So congratulations to Mr. Shelton. Welcome aboard, and thank you very much, Mr. Kevin Dean, for all that you did, everything in the last few years. More science, including a little bit about the polar vortex from Forbes magazine, and Marshall Shepard, past president of the American Meteorological Society, and a whole bunch of other neat things, including webcams and all sorts of other stuff at facebook.com/Austen Onek, WREG. And check out my Twitter page available at twitter.com/Aonic_WREG3, and you can get more information about what's going on there. Got pictures in the Mid-South of sunset tonight. It's beautiful, rosy glow out there right now, so hopefully we've got some good pictures. Please tweet them to me or email them at austin.onek@WREG.com, and I'll be glad to feature them on our social media pages as much as I possibly can. Also, big certain you stay tuned for this weekend. as we see again the potential for maybe some severe weather in the mid-south and that rapid changeover as those winds come up out of the south and then turn right back around again and come back up out of the north and drop the temperatures pretty rapidly. We could see some interesting changes as we get into the very early hours of Saturday night into Sunday morning, so stay tuned for more on that. Live and direct from House Onek, I'm meteorologist Austen Onek. Thanks for joining me for this edition of News Channel 3's video weather blog, Weather Overtime, and stay tuned to WREG.com, online and on air for more information.